Hello family, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Angela and this channel is all about beauty, fashion, and life. If you're returning, thank you so much for your continued support and I really appreciate it. Now in today's video, I'm gonna give you 10 tips for making your style look more elevated, more modern, more fresh. Some things I'm gonna tell you probably should do, and then there are other things that you probably should stop doing. But these are just 10 tips that I found. Some really helped me. So some of this is coming from experience. Now, if that's something you're interested in hearing, stay tuned. Now, let's get started. Now, before we get started, a lot of you ask me about production and you want to make sure I'm treating production well. I am. I recently purchased him a work uniform shirt. Would you like to see production? Come in, please. Show the ladies your uniform shirt. Your beard is holding it. He's no longer being while he's shooting the video. He is now production. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Shame on you.
I don't feel zero shame. Before I get started, I just want to say, I know at this time or this stage in our life, we're going through a lot of transitions, probably more so than any other time in our lives. We're having empty nest syndrome, or we're dealing with grown children and sometimes grandchildren and aging parents, and then all these hormonal changes, my goodness, and body changes, and there are just things going on all around us. So the purpose for this video was, for me, my ultimate goal is always to help you feel better through fashion. And sometimes through some girl talk, just a little chit chat, but ultimately through fashion. And just these ideas or my tips or recommendations are just that. They're just my tips, my recommendations. If they don't meet your fashion needs or something that you're not wanting to do, then this is that particular video or that particular tip is not for you, and that's perfectly okay. I know that every tip is not for everyone. But that being said, the tip number one is to change your shoes. Now, if you have round toe shoes, to change those to an almond toe or a pointed toe shoe. And the reason for that is the round toe shoes kind of cut you off and make you look stumpy, particularly if you have on flats. Now, if you're like 6'2", there is absolutely nothing that is gonna make you look short or stumpy. So wear your round toe shoes. They're not gonna look as modern or as trendy, but they're not gonna make you look stumpy. I, on the other hand, am 5'3.5" and I want that whole half inch. You know, you can round it up to 5'4", basically, because I'm really good at math. Technically, it rounds up to 5'4", but I just say 5'3.5". If I wear flats and they're round toe or heels that are round toe, it really cuts my legs off. A pointed toe or almond toe is gonna make me look elongated, particularly if the shoe is the same color as my pants or my skirt, or if it's a neutral tone shoe, it's really gonna elongate my legs and make me look a lot taller. So tip number one is, if you have round toe heels or flats, more so flats, then if you can afford to, or if you can change up those shoes to more of a pointed toe flat, it's gonna make you look a lot taller. Style tip number two is, if you have capris in your wardrobe, you probably should get rid of those. Capris are just not flattering. They hit you at the biggest part of your calves and really just completely cut your legs in half. I don't care if they're a neutral color capri or if they're printed, whatever they are, whether they're denim, they really cut your legs in half and they're just not as flattering. Now, what you can do in exchange for that is you can wear some Bermuda shorts. Not necessarily really short. You can wear the ones that come right to your knees. Those are so much more modern. They're much more fresh. They're much more stylish. Now, if you don't want to wear shorts at all, if you don't like that short cut above your knee, then you can wear like some fitted ankle pants, or I think they call them cigarette pants. Those are very flattering. They don't hit you at the calf, they hit you at the most narrow part of your legs, so it still makes your legs look more long and lengthy and elongates you. But capris are just not a flattering wardrobe item. They're just not, and they're just very dating. So usually you will not see younger generations with capris on. We may see the grandmothers don't even wear capris. They're just not a flattering wardrobe item whatsoever. So just exchange those for some Bermuda shorts or some ankle pants, or just some regular shorts that may be a little bit longer if that's what you prefer. But go ahead and take those capris out of your wardrobe. Third on the list is something I've probably talked about before, and that is changing up your purse. Now, nowadays they have very, very affordable purses everywhere. You know, I'm talking about that grandma purse. No, grandma purse was everything. Grandma always had some mints in there. She had some handkerchiefs in there. She had a little extra change and she could slide you on the side in that purse. So, but that's the grandmother purse. You know what I'm talking about, the neutral, something came in the neutral, a mauve or a black color, and they had like 3 big sections with the zipper, and the strap was pretty much a short shoulder strap, or most of the time they hung them in their arms like this. They're just very, very dated, and they'll make you look older than you actually are. So you can get really nice like purses that like the Yves Saint Laurent, similar type purses that are same size as the grandma purse, but have a more modern, more fresh take on the purse. You can get those from Walmart. You can get high end, you can get low end. I'll try to find some and put them in the description box with various price points. They come in various colors like black or neutral. They come in red, green, just multiple colors, but they'll just make your entire outfit look a little more stylish and a lot better. Now, you can get those in leather or faux leather or even fabric. Now, if you're spending more money, you're going to get a leather purse, and of course it's going to last you a lot longer. But sometimes that's not within your budget. You want to look more stylish, but you don't have a lot of money to put into something, an accessory such as a purse. I'll find some alternate brands that you could probably perhaps fit within your budget, but still look stylish and look really, really nice. So change those grandma purses. The fourth thing you can do is get rid of the overly distressed jeans. And when I say overly distressed, it's the jeans that have all the tiny rips in them. I'll put insert a picture of me in a pair a few years ago, and I love those jeans. I wore them all the time. Now, that doesn't mean you don't need to wear distressed jeans, or you can't. I'll also insert a picture of a more modern, more up-to-date distressed type jean. They don't have all the little rips on them. Sometimes they may have one large big rip, or just a couple of small distressed areas on the jeans, but it's not distressed from the hip all the way down to the knee or all the way down to the ankles. Those are kind of outdated. They don't look as stylish or as trendy or more modern. They're just very, very dating and outdated, to be honest with you. And most of those jeans were probably low-waisted, so they just weren't flattering anyway. But just try to update your wardrobe with a more modern, a more fresher distressed jeans. And also you can get those at various price points too. I've seen them as low as $30, and I've seen them as high as $200, $300, but there are varying price points for those items as well. Style tip number 5 is low-rise or ill-fitting jeans. This is a jean thing as well. If you have any low-rise jeans in your wardrobe, you probably just need to go ahead. They just don't. Once you put on a pair of mid-rise or a high-rise pair of jeans with a little stretch in it, or even like the jeans that are trending right now, they have very little stretch in them, but the rise is still mid to high rise. They are so much more comfortable. You know, at this age, we have a little extra going on right here. You put those low rise jeans on, and it just they tell on you. The extra just kind of go over the top, and it's just not going to look flattering, especially if you're wearing a fitted top, or even just a top that's closely fitted to your body. You're gonna see that little muffin, and nobody's gonna feel flattering in that. You're not gonna feel flattering. It is not gonna be flattering for your physique or for your entire look. So just go ahead and get a more modern cut, a more mid-rise or high-rise if you like jean. They don't have to be skinny jeans. I still wear my skinny jeans. Yes, I do. And I also have some straight jeans as well that are mid-rise or high-rise that look really, really nice. And they kind of tuck you in and almost like a little shapewear without having to wear shapewear. So that's always going to be a benefit when it comes to your styling. It's going to make you look more chic and just more elevated. So if you're wearing ill-fitting jeans, they're just not going to look great. Just go ahead and switch those jeans out for something that's going to flatter your shape and your style. Style tip number 6. Now this could cost a little coinage, so you may have to wait to whenever you have money in your budget or whenever it's time for you to change these. But change your eyeglass frames. Have you ever seen like an older person, by older I mean like in their 70s, with like the coolest eyeglass frames on, or like an older gentleman with like a gray beard, gray hair with like blue eyeglass frames, or older female with red eyeglass? They just look so fresh and modern and just up to date and trendy. I love seeing older people with just bright colors on their eyeglass frames. It just changes your entire look. You can change your entire look with just a pair of just a pair of bright frames, but you don't have to get bright frames. You can get a tortoise frame or black frame, just a neutral frame, but change your eyeglass frames. If you've had these same frames for years and years, it's not going to be as flattering. Your face structure has changed. You've put on weight, or if you lost weight. So your eyeglass frames need to fit your body, but just try something a little more fresh. What I recommend is taking, if you have grandchildren or if you have children, taking your children to the eyeglass store with you when you go pick out your frames, or calling them up from the eyeglass store and saying, what do you think about these frames? Or before you go to the eyeglass store, sit down with someone younger than you if you don't know what to do, and just kind of go through some frames and say, what do you think about these? What do you think about these? Tell me what you like and show me what you think will look really nice on me. That would be very helpful, because you can get overwhelmed once you get into the store and the eyeglass frames wrap around the entire store. It can be extremely overwhelming. But change your eyeglass frames if that's something within your budget, something you can do. It will elevate your entire look every time. Tip number 7, and now I know I've had to struggle with this a little bit myself, and I think all of us struggle at a certain age with this, is making sure if you're putting color in your hair that you really have to do the upkeep to color that gray. I know, just like you've seen ladies or gentlemen, mostly ladies, they'll have a part down the middle of their hair, and then you see all of this will be black and it'll just be white straight down the middle. It just completely draws the eye to that and takes away from your entire look. And I know sometimes you may not even realize that your color has grown out that much if you're pulling your hair back in the ponytail and just so happen today you part it down the middle and like, oh my God. Or you pull your hair back and then your edges are a little gray. Let me tell you what I've done in emergency situations numerous times. I have a little toothbrush that I got at the hotel when we went traveling somewhere. Take my little toothbrush, my mascara, my black mascara, take the toothbrush on these edges right there, just on the edges right there, those little gray hairs you like to pick out. Just a quick instant fix. Yes, it's gonna wash out when you come home and shampoo your hair, but hey, the gray is covered. You're feeling more confident. For me, I'm feeling more confident when my edges are as black as the rest of my hair. I do not like to, I have a patch of gray hair right here that y'all will not see for years to come. For years to come. When my black starts growing out, there's a patch, and I'm sure it's really pretty. And I love seeing that on other people. I think it is so chic looking when you see a woman with a patch, or even a man with a patch of white hair. Yep, that's gonna be me. But at first, that's what that was gonna be. But you know, the rest of them is catching up. So. But yeah, I'm just not ready. But if you're trying to run out the house, you can do the mascara, or they have these little kits that you get at the drugstore. I think they're very inexpensive to cover your little gray hair. There's a little brush and some stuff you put on there, and you just, when you don't have time to color your hair, because you know, people are busy. Everybody did not get to stay at home during this, you know, what was going on. Some people are still having to work, and they have children. They have a lot of responsibility. That's at the bottom of the list to do, and they just wake up one morning and all this is there, and you just, but the quick fix is get your little mascara. But all in all, just kind of try to maintain the color. If you're going to wear color, try to maintain that root coverage. Now, if you're growing your gray out, that's an entirely different story. I've seen pictures of women that were growing their gray out. And if you just growing, if your hair is pitch black and this is white, what I recommend is going to the cosmetologist, and they're able to strip that harsh black out of your hair and put maybe a lighter color so the gray is not so obvious, so it's just gently coming out versus that harsh black, that harsh contrast there. But that is my recommendation if you're growing your gray out and your hair is black on the ends. Or if you're growing your gray out and you just want it to look subtle coming out, I recommend going to a cosmetologist and having her take a look at it and seeing is there anything she can do to make the entire process, the transition, easier and more seamless for you. The next tip has to do with hair as well. Now, I can tell you from my experience, the women in my family, especially my mother's family, all had thick, beautiful, long hair like horse's mane hair when they were younger. And as they all got older, their hair thinned, not extremely thin, but their hair got thinner. And I knew that that's probably going to be my that's probably going to happen to me as well. But what I recommend, I've seen women who grew up with really long hair. I've always had long hair. My hair used to be, when it's straight, even y'all see this shrinkage, but when it's straight, it usually will hang here. So I grew up with long hair, and some women, particularly a little bit older than my generation, are accustomed to having that long hair, and as they get older, their hair gets thin, and they don't want to lose that length. If your hair is thinning and you still want it to be long, it's not going to be as flattering. So my recommendation is to get a haircut, get a fresh, when you cut your hair like in a bob length or even shorter, it elongates your neck. It's a more modern, more fresh take on how you look. And just I've seen women with gray hair or white hair with short cuts, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Now, if that's something you don't want to do, if your hair is very, very thin and you want to transition into wearing weaves or a wig, wigs are everywhere at various price points as well. I know if you want a really nice custom wig, you can get a really nice wig, and you'll have to take the wig to the cosmetologist to have them shape it for your face, to cut it for you, and they can color it or put highlights or dye it so that it looks very, very customized for you. Now that's gonna be expensive. I usually $500 and up. So if that's something within your budget, you can do that. But they do have synthetic wigs that are a lot cheaper, but they're not gonna look as good as those custom wigs. But if your hair is long, just try to trim it or keep it a little bit shorter so it looks more full, it looks more healthy. I know you want that length if that's something you're accustomed to, but it's not gonna be quite as flattering as a head of healthy, thick looking hair.
$500 for that?
For what?
For a wig thing?
You can get a wig. Let me tell you, how much you think Beyonce paid for her wigs? Just.
She wears wigs?
The next tip is change up your perfume. Now, there are very few perfumes that have stood the test of time that are still timeless. Brands like Chanel. Now, that Chanel No. 5, I personally think it stinks. I don't like it at all. It is very strong. It's a very heavy, old brocade curtain scent to me. That's just my take. Now, I know there are women that still love that scent, and it's been out for years and years. But for the most part, most scents that come out 10, 15 years ago, they just don't have a fresh scent. So change up your perfume. There are so many different perfumes nowadays. If you like a heavy hitter, try something with an oud, like a Maison Francis Kirk de Jean, like that Baccarat 540, but they have numerous scents in their line. They're usually heavy because most of them have oud in them. And oud is a wood, but that's a whole different story. But it's a very heavy wood. It's a very distinctive scent, but it's a very strong and it's a very heavy scent. And it makes perfume smell heavy, but they're very distinct. They're very different. They're very modern if they're made by the right company, and they last forever. So if you like something like a Chanel No. 5 or something heavy, then try something like that. Now that's gonna be very expensive though. But there are more modern scents. I recommend you go to a perfume counter. Now take you some coffee beans take you some coffee beans in a little bag. I take them because sometimes they don't have it. Because after you smell like 5 or 6 scents, they all start smelling the same. You can sniff on the coffee beans and it kind of clears out your nostrils, and then you can really smell the next scent. But try to change up your perfume. Like if you're still wearing, what is that Elizabeth Taylor scent? Like White Diamonds. That stuff too, don't wear that. That don't smell good to me at all. I think back in the day, I thought it smelled okay. I never wore it. But that's an example of a very dated scent. But you don't want to wear a scent. You don't want to have on modern, fresh clothes and then you have a scent that's very dated. You want a perfume that matches your whole aesthetic. So change your perfumes up every now and then. The last tip is regarding accessories and particularly jewelry. Now, there are certain pieces that make you look very dated. Like if I've seen people with a lot of, and it's usually colored jewelry. They'll have the bracelet with all the stones, and they'll have the matching necklace and then the matching earrings. That is a very, very dated look. It does not look well. When you see an eclectic necklace like that, the stones are very large. It's not strings and strings of multiple colored stones or small stones of the same color, but like you'll see like a big turquoise or a big emerald type stones. It looks really, really nice. And usually a person that's wearing that will have like a cuff or a bracelet and earrings. They do not match. When you have that matchy, it just looks very dated and it doesn't look modern. I know I've said modern and fresh a million times throughout this video, but that's the kind of look you want to go with. Even if you're doing you like a classic style, you still want your classic style to be very modern. For example, if you're wearing you like a classic style, you have a classic aesthetic, you like blazers. You're not going to be wearing the same blazer today that you wore 10, 15 years ago. You're going to change your blazers every so often because now the length is changed. The cut is a little different. It's still a blazer. It's a classic item, wardrobe item, but the cut of the blazer is different. So we need to do the same thing with our jewelry. Try not to be too matchy with your jewelry, like your bracelets and your earrings and your necklace all matching one another. It's not going to elevate your outfit. It's not going to elevate your look. You can do that with like one chunky necklace or one chunky bracelet, and then your necklace doesn't match your bracelet and just gives it a more chic, elevated look. Now, if it's metals, that's different. That's a little different. You still don't want to be matchy, but if you have a nice chunky, say gold necklace and a nice chunky gold bracelet, that's going to look different. That's going to look more modern. It's not going to look as dated as if you have stones in your jewelry. Well, that's it, family. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Just remember that these are just my recommendations. A lot of them I had to follow for myself, so that's where I got this information from. If this does not apply to you, or if there's something in this video that you just don't want to change, you do you. It's gonna make you feel your best, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. Now, before I go, if you haven't subscribed yet, I would greatly appreciate your support. And you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button below. And if you'd like to be notified when we upload twice weekly, you can go ahead and hit that notification bell and you'll get an email letting you know that we've uploaded a new video. Again, thank you so much for spending some of your valuable time with me. I greatly appreciate it, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.